Hey, beautiful. So this morning, I woke up angry. Not angry because I'm still sick. I had my video last week saying that I was sick, and it's still going on right now. So I'm feeling angry not because I'm still sick, but because my being sick is connecting me to deep, old feelings of being angry and other things I'll talk about. And there's a current event right now in my life that's just compounding those feelings and making me feel angry and powerless and like I don't matter and a little bit abused and like a victim. So it's taking me on quite a journey this week. And I'm doing a voiceover like this because I am still coughing a lot. So last week, the video was about the fact that I was just had a few days behind me of coughing and having a pretty serious bug. And I was talking about observing my body being sick and healing and doing what it does and not identifying to the sickness or to the condition, and that it was some kind of distanciation that I could imagine as HSPs that we could have with our emotions. So when we feel something moving in our body, deep feelings and emotions, we don't have to become that, even if they do exist. So that was last week. Since then, well, my condition has moved on to bigger and better things. So the non-stop cough, and so I ended up going to the clinic yesterday because the coughing has still been incessant, and I actually pulled some intercostal muscles from all the coughing, and the pain was just very intense. So I think what it turns out is I had a viral infection, and that it's turned into a bacterial infection in my lungs. So now I'm being treated with antibiotics and powerful painkillers and all these things, and I still need to rest. And that's the physical stuff. So I'm doing that. On the emotional and energy stuff, because it's just been 10 days of incredible coughing and then back spasm that was limiting my breathing even more, and then pulling the muscle, and then just being absolutely out of breath sometimes during the day like I'm asthmatic. It occurred to me to ask myself the question, why doesn't my body want to breathe? Because clearly there's something in me that my body's expressing, and you will not take a deep breath. So I've been doing a lot of work as my disease has progressed, so as the depth of my reflection. And one of the things is, I've been doing a lot of meditations, and I've also started doing some tapping with the tapping solution. And they have a couple about lungs and restricted breathing. And one of them is about the emotions that are associated with lungs and lung conditions that prevent you from breathing. And the three that they named were anxiety, grief, and kind of anger, resentment on people or the world or things of the sort. And I've been doing a lot of tapping around these. And the first ones that just made me start crying so profoundly was the idea of grief. And I realized that I was holding in my lungs a lot of grief for the loss of my relationship with my husband. So that was one. Obviously, anxiety, because of the uncertainty of my future, and now time just slipping by as I'm spending a couple of weeks sick and not being productive and not working on my book, which is what I have to launch in order to start the ball rolling on somehow attracting and generating income and all that. And then there was the one about anger, resentment, and it made me go through a bunch of different things along that front. And some of it I've connected with a long history in my life of feeling like I don't matter, and that my suffering doesn't matter, and that when I'm sick most of my life through many dynamics and circumstances, but just focusing on my feeling, I've been alone most of my life anytime I've been very sick. Interestingly, as I'm posting this video, it is the anniversary of the epitome moment of powerlessness. It is the 31st anniversary of my surgery from having my large intestine removed because I had ulcerative colitis, and without the surgery I was going to die. And so much happened around those days and that surgery that made me feel like totally powerless and alone, like I didn't matter. One of them being that I had to take a taxi to get myself to the hospital for this surgery that I may not even survive. So the fact that this reflection is happening on the day of that anniversary means that it's even more potent and important and so clearly right on the money for me to be working on this. And I hold anger and resentment and, feeling of, and then it expands, right? Feeling of that I don't matter, that I'm alone in the world, and all these things. So I've been dealing with a lot of these things because I want to get through what is my body, or process or release what is my body doing right now to try to bring attention, because I know that this year is a big year for me to move forward, and I'm feeling like this is coming up for my benefit. If I can just take the time to acknowledge all these emotions and allow them to exist and then release them, then I can move to bigger and better things. And one of the interesting things, obviously, having lived with chronic illness since the time I was very young, is that this feeling of powerlessness is something that, has followed me throughout my life. If you live with chronic illness, you know what I'm talking about. And the anger that came up so strongly this morning is because there's an event in my life right now that is bringing up not about disease, but just about people in my life, bringing up a lot of anger. So I don't want to go into details, but there's a spiritual teacher I've been following for quite a while and talked about a lot this year in my videos, because I learned so much, and I'm very, very grateful for all the material and processes that I've gone through because of their work. But I had a ticket for an event that's happening next week that I bought many months ago. And because I'm sick, I can't attend. And first I wanted to sell the ticket to a member who is going and who wanted her husband to come. And I said, hey, I can't go. I'll sell you my ticket. And then the administration said, no, you're not allowed. And then I said, okay, then I would like to gift my ticket because I don't want it to go to waste. And I have not been allowed to gift my ticket to a member who wants to attend the event. And emails are not being replied to anymore. And I am propelled back into that feeling of that I don't matter and all that stuff. So that's the anger I woke up with this morning. I've been trying to let it go and saying abundance will come from somewhere else. It's only this amount of money and all that. So I'm doing that work, but I realize that I still have anger, and they are seriously triggering it in me. And it's very upsetting. But at the same time, I know there's a gift in there, not directly from them, because I think what they're doing is unethical, but just for me in my life, realizing also that not breathing for so long in the last more than 10 days is a connection to abundance, right? Breath is life. And this money issue at a moment where money is such a big driving force, the scarcity is a driving force that I'm trying to deal with releasing so that I live from another place. And I'm doing a lot of headway there. But this is bringing up a lot. Anyway, so I've been working on this, and then I came out here this morning because I needed the sun, I needed nature. I've been cooped up in my bed for so long, except for going to the clinic yesterday. And I just thought, I need this openness. I need the sun. I need this air. And as I was sitting here doing some tapping and working on all this stuff at releasing, I also realized it's all up to me to release. It truly, truly is. There is goodness in me. There is abundance in life. And the longer I allow, beyond just connecting with my feelings and doing the work to release them, if I hang on to the unfairness and the lack of integrity and blah, 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 all of that this signifies, and also kind of the letdown, because I really had high esteem for that group. And now, that's gone. So beyond that, it's up to me to say, yeah, okay, it has re-triggered and brought up all my feelings of powerlessness and all the things I mentioned. And I can choose to release them and move on and just reconnect to how I've been feeling about 2024 and finishing my book, and that I've changed track in my life, in the universe, and that my future is unwritten, and that there is so much unknown good that is ahead of me, and not to allow this to drag me down, and instead just use it for cleansing and clearing old energies and emotions that are now were stuck in my lungs, and just moving forward and raising my vibration to things that are good. So, a little bit of a rambling video, but this is where my mind is after 10 days of being in bed. I guess next week I will come back and be in super shape and go back to a different kind of message that I have for you. And I hope you guys stick around, and I will see you soon. So whenever life brings things up in us, first of all, it doesn't matter what form it takes, the events, the people that are the tools to connect us, the sickness, whatever, these are just life using methods and schemes to make us connect with what we need to release. So I offer it to you. If people, events, disease, look at what it's connecting, making you connect to, and work on that. And at some point, after nightmares and anger and grieving and crying and whatever, there will be some release. And then we can move on from there. I love you, and you have a great week.